Hi, my name is Paul Towers. I'm the founder and CEO of Pigeon. In today's webinar, what we're going to do is we're going to run through how to sign up for Pigeon and get yourself started, whether you're using it as an individual or a team. So very simple, the first few steps, obviously, you just want to go to www.taskpigeon.co, and to get started, it's completely free. You don't need to enter any credit card details. I'm using a demo account here, so I'm going to just enter March 2018A at taskpigeon.co as my email address, and then you want to click create your free account. Following that, you just need to enter a couple of contact details. So in this instance, I'm going to enter James and Towers. That just happens to be my brother's name. And then username, again, sorry, it can be anything that you like. There is a license agreement, so feel free to open that up, but by default it is ticked. You then want to hit next, and you've got to create a password. So obviously just choose something that's nice and strong. And then what we're doing here is we're naming our team. So I'm just going to call it March 2018. And we then have a domain. Again, I'm going to keep it March 2018. Following this, you have the ability to invite your team. So you can add as many invitations as you require here. In this demonstration, I'm just going to enter one email address. During the first 14 days of your account, you can have as many people in your team as you like. After the first 14 days, if you do want to continue on the free tier, you do require a maximum of 5 users. So if you are on our in the free tier, you can have up to 5 users. If you've added 6, 7, 8, etc. during that first 14 days, you'll be prompted to upgrade your account before the end of the trial. So I'm just going to click send invitation, and you do have the ability to skip that if you don't have anyone. By default, the window opens in your last used display, and I did have it set to the list view, but by default for most of you it's going to open up in your task tile view. This is the default view that we've designed Pigeon to work in, and is, to be honest, the most popular one that people are currently using. There's a couple of tutorial tasks here. I won't dive into those straight away, but I'm going to show you how you can get set up and really start to use Pigeon to its full advantage. So on the left hand side, we've got a couple of different menu items here. We've got group tasks. What this essentially does is show all tasks that are assigned to either yourself or members on your team. The My Tasks dashboard then filters that to show only tasks that are assigned to you. You can then have the ability to mark tasks in progress, see those that are due soon, obviously tasks that you have completed. I'll talk about our marketplace and how to add new tasks in the near future. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my email so that I can hopefully get, if I just refresh quickly, the invitation saying that I've been invited. So I'm using a browser that allows me to operate 2 different basically sessions without having issues with cookies and whatnot. And the invited user would just be prompted to complete the sign up. And in this instance, I'm going to use my sister-in-law's name. So it's nice and easy for me to remember. Again, click next. They'll be prompted to enter their own password. And obviously they don't need to create a team name or anything like that because, well, they're already associated with your team. You can see in this instance that this user, when they logged in, they can see the task tiles by default. It didn't open on the list view. I'll jump back to my main account now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a few of the settings before I jump in and get to work with the actual creation of tasks and categories. So in the profile page, you can upload a profile picture. Obviously, the more people you have in your team, entirely encouraged to do that. It makes it a lot easier to see who's associated with what task. You then have settings, so you can obviously change your password. We have a comprehensive set of email notifications that go out anytime a new task is assigned, if tasks are edited, if comments are left, or if it's due soon. There's a due soon alert notification. You can turn off any of these independently. Finally, admin will have the ability to view the team directory. So if we go here, we can see that we do have Laura Butera as our new user, and you can change their permission to either be admin, which gives them complete control to create, invite users, upgrade the team, delete team members. Managers have all of that functionality except the ability to basically upgrade the team, so they don't have access to your payment details. General users are where most of your people are going to sit, and the guest user essentially has view and comment only access on the tasks. They can't create tasks themselves. I won't bore you too much with that. We'll just return to the dashboard so that we can get started. And what you'll see is our other user has popped up here. We can see that Laura Butera is now showing there. And that'll be important in a second when I show you how the group tasks and my tasks dashboard differentiates itself. In this particular instance, we're going to pretend that this company is a marketing organization. So for them, they want to create a number of different categories associated with how they go about marketing for their clients and the different things that they do. So we're just going to create a few categories here. We're going to do content marketing. It's going to create the category for us. We are then going to do perhaps SEO for search engine optimization. We'll just create maybe 5 here. We're going to do PPC, paid per click. Create that. Maybe we'll do social media. And finally, what we might do is influencer marketing. Now, by default, each of these colors randomly rotate when you first create that category, but you can go in here and edit it if you don't like the default color. Instantly changes it for you. Of course, to update the name or change the name, you can just click here, so you could change that, or you could delete the category. When you delete the category, you are also deleting all tasks underneath that category. So it will warn you, but that's just something to keep in mind. What we're going to do now is we're going to quickly create a few tasks. So the way to do that, super easy. You can go add new task, and we've got 2 different task types. We've got general tasks and we've got checklist tasks. We'll show you checklist tasks in a moment, but for now, let's just start with our general tasks. So let's say in this instance, we want to create a new blog post for one of our clients, for Acme Corp. They're one of our clients. You can obviously enter the details here, so I won't waste too much time filling this out, but we can just say the client requires a blog post on the top 10 great places to work. Obviously, you can fill that out with as many details as you require. We have numbers and bullet points supported within this interface as well, which is nice and handy. You can then attach files, so you have a number of options. All of this is available on our free tier and of course the premium tier as well. So you can go from your computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive and Box. Won't bother attaching a file for the moment. We then have a quick select deadline option, so you can do it today, ASAP, ongoing, which is really handy for those tasks that maybe don't have a defined time frame just yet. And you do of course have the ability to set a custom date. In this instance, we're going to pick next Thursday, and we might say that we need it not by 1 AM. We'll change that to PM, 1 PM. I'll show you private tasks a little bit later on, but that is one of our premium features. And for the category, you can see that we have all 5 here, but you also do have the ability to create a new category directly within the task creation window if you need to create a new one. We'll go content marketing, and this is where the assign to button really comes in handy. We've got myself, currently James Towers, and Laura Butera, our other user. We're going to assign it to both of us in this instance. As soon as we hit publish, what's going to happen is, obviously it's going to show up on our dashboards, but Laura, who isn't the person who created the task, she will receive an email notification saying that James Towers has created a new task for you, and the details of the task will actually be there. Laura can then choose to just hit reply to that email. For example, she might want to leave a comment and say, hey, James, pardon me. Hey, James, I noticed that we need to do the new blog post for Acme Corp and that you wanted to cover the 10 great places to work. I was just wondering if we also needed to do a blog post on CEOs that can motivate their staff, or whatever it happens to be. So it saves her the hassle of having to come into the application. You can just simply hit reply in your email inbox of choice. What we're going to do now is we're going to create another task. This time I'm going to go to the general tasks list, and we're going to just come up with something very quick. So we're going to do create new Facebook ad campaign. I'm going to break this down. So we checklist items. You can add as many items as you want just by hitting the plus button. We're going to keep it pretty simple today just for the purposes of the demonstration. So we're going to do write call to action for client approval, source images, create ad in Facebook ad manager, launch ad campaign, review campaign after 48 hours. Okay, and then again we can attach files. We're not going to worry about that. I'm going to do this as an ASAP task. It's pretty urgent. We're going to select our social media category, and in this instance I'm only going to assign it to myself. So when I hit publish, Laura won't be notified of this task because it is just assigned to me. We can immediately see that it does have our little due soon symbol because we did notify it as being ASAP. Going to create one more task, this time associated with Laura, just so that you can see how the different dashboards work between group tasks and my tasks. So in this instance, let's just create another very simple task. We're going to go SEO keyword research for ABC Corp. They're another one of our clients. I won't bother you with the details, but we can go details here. We will select a custom date. Again, we might put it out a little bit to say April 2nd, 5 p.m. That works well for me. And I'm going to dive in and actually, I won't show you what private tasks mean right now because it won't make too much sense, but I will just put this for SEO. And in this instance, we're going to assign it to Laura. So I haven't assigned it to myself, I've just assigned it to Laura. Hit publish. So in this instance, Laura's obviously going to receive that email notification. Now, this is where we can show you how the different filtering works. So first of all, at the high level, we've got the group tasks, which I've previously spoke about. This shows the tasks associated with anyone in our team. So we've got Laura, we've got James or myself in this instance, and both Laura and James showing. If I filter down to my tasks, it's now only going to show the tasks that I am directly assigned to, regardless of who created it. So here I am, and here I am again. You'll notice it does not show the CEO task that I created and assigned only to Laura. To see that, we'd have to go back to the group tasks, and there we have it. The secondary filtering that we have is by the categories themselves. Obviously, as you start to build this out, you might have 5, 10, 15 tasks under various categories, and you want to be able to quickly and easily find them. So, for example, if we filter to content marketing, we see all of the tasks associated with content marketing. If we then go to my tasks and content marketing again, it's now just the content marketing tasks assigned to me. And we can switch, for example, down to social media, see that again, and back to all to see all tasks. I'm going to jump back to group tasks for a second to show you one other feature that we added a little while ago, but it is a pretty popular feature. Depending on how you and your team operate, in this instance, obviously there's only 5 categories, but I know with my team we have about 15 to 20, and sometimes not all of those categories are being used. So if you want to hide categories that currently have 0 tasks, you can just toggle this switch, and now it's a much more manageable list. We can see that we've just got 3 categories with tasks currently showing. The other way of kind of filtering and viewing your tasks is to sort them differently. So by default, they're sorted by date, which essentially means the date that they were created. So that means the newest task will appear first. That's the way I prefer to view my tasks. I like seeing what I've created most recently, keeps things fresh in my mind, but you can switch between date and deadline. So what deadline will do is show the tasks that are most urgent. In this case, it's showing the ASAP task first. It's also showing our tutorial tasks because they are also highlighted as due soon, but obviously as you get to use Task Pigeon, they're not going to be there, they'll clear from the screen. And then we've got the March 29 deadline, and then the later task being the 2nd of April. I'm going to switch back to date for a second. The other view that we support in addition to the task tile view is our list view. So some people do prefer operating in lists. Very similar concept in that you have still all access to the group tasks, my tasks, etc. But you can now view your tasks in a list style. So for example, we can filter down, we can see our CEO tasks. It's just a personal preference really how you like to view your tasks. I'm going to show you one more view which we recently added, which is our Kanban board view, which we're very excited about. This has been a well requested feature and it's really adds a lot of flexibility. So in this instance, what you can do is you can select a board name, which is essentially assigning a category to that board. We're going to go with content marketing for this one. We're going to go for SEO for the next one. And we might do it was under social media for the other one. You can add as many boards as you like. So if you just keep clicking that, it'll expand out. Of course, we don't need all of those boards in this instance. Now, it's a little bit hard to show you straight away, but these are dynamic in terms of how they're ordered. So they aren't ordered by date or deadline. You can basically chop and change these to move the tasks that are of the highest priority to you right up to the top. To show you that, I'm also going to show you how you can simply drag and drop tasks to change their category. So I'm going to move all of our tasks over to the SEO category just for the time being. And then let's say that while this task is ASAP, actually it's the blog post that I need to work on first. Let's just say the client's called us up, they really want to see the draft. So I can drag that to the top of the list, it'll update, now stay at the top. SEO research for ABC Corp, that isn't due until April, so I'm going to move that to my bottom of my list. And now this is the order of work that I really want to perform. And I can see essentially what I have to do first, or what my team has to do first in this instance, given I'm on the group task level. If I filter to my tasks, you'll see that I do just have the 2 tasks assigned to myself. We'll just change these back to where they were for a second. So I'm going to move those 2 back, and you can very quickly see that it's updated itself. Jumping back to the dashboard, what I'm going to do is show you how the in progress and the completed tasks works next. So when you open a task, essentially what you are going to be able to do is view some details on that task. So as you may recall, when we created this task, we didn't put any information. I did just write details here. If there was more, you'd click that read more button and it would expand. All of your attachments are going to show up here. So in a simple list, so if you've got multiple attachments, it's very easy to see what you have to work on, what is attached to that particular task. And of course, we have commenting features and functions. So doesn't make sense to comment on this task because I am the only person assigned to it. Yes, that is correct. It's only assigned to Laura, sorry. So I won't comment on this task. What I'm going to do is just show you how you would mark something as in progress. So you simply click the button, mark as in progress. That's been updated. And I'll show you where that now shows up in the in progress tasks in a second. You can see that on your group task dashboard because it will have the little star notification. Makes much more sense to comment on this task where there's both of us associated with it. So I might say, hi Laura, let's chat tomorrow about key topic of the post, or whatever it is. You can attach files to any comments. Again, you have access to computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, and Box, or you can just simply hit send without that. Oh, sorry, I have clicked to add an attachment. We will just leave it without. Now, Laura will get a notification of that in email, and she can then choose to simply hit reply to that email, and it will sync up the comments. Or if she was in her dashboard, she can log in or remain logged in and find that task and then comment directly. We're just going to pretend that we've completed this task now, so I'm going to click the task complete button. You can see that's been successfully updated, and we can now show you where that appears on the rest of our dashboard. So if we go down to the in progress tasks, we can see or actually this is a good instance to show you our management view, because the task I marked as in progress was actually Laura's task, not my own. So as a manager, one of the features that you have on the premium tier is the ability to view other people's dashboards in your team. So if we click Laura Butera in this instance, we can now see that she has marked SEO keyword research for ABC Corp as in progress. We can go to my tasks, which in this instance are Laura's tasks, because we're viewing the dashboard as if we are her. And obviously at the group task level, she's going to see everything as well because she's part of our group. Now, if you were just wanting to see what tasks were marked as in progress as a manager, if you wanted to view it on an individual team level, this is the best place to do it. You'll have all of your team members listed across here. In this instance, we only have one. However, if you do just want that high level overview, you can just see this information from the group task dashboard. We can see that this task has been marked as in progress. We can hover to see that it's associated with Laura Butera or whoever else it was at that time. Going to jump to the due soon. Here we can see that this task, the one marked ASAP, it is indeed marked due soon. So this is a great way to filter down if you just want a clear snapshot of what you've got to work on straight away. And then finally, our completed tasks, we can see the task that has been completed. While we're here, I'm going to show you that you do also have that drag and drop functionality on this dashboard. So if we want to move that to the SEO category, for example, we can just drag and drop it, and it will also update for us, which is nice and handy. I will keep it there for the moment. So that essentially is Task Pigeon in a nutshell in terms of how it operates and how it works for your team. Just to recap, I want to give a quick overview of some of the premium features that we have for our paid users. The paid version of Task Pigeon is just $9 US per user per month. And that's for each member that you add to your team, but there is no cap on the number of members. Now, a couple of features that you get with the paid tier is the management dashboard that I mentioned. So the ability to view other users as if you were them, and that's associated with all the managers. So you can go to the admin dashboard, give certain team members management access, and they will then be able to view, the people who work underneath them, for example. Also using the admin component, and you go to the team directory, you can assign guest users. Essentially, that means that they can come in, they can view a task, they can comment on a task, but they don't have access to editing, deleting it, marking it as complete, or anything like that. This works great if you have clients who just want to be kept up to date with the tasks that you're working on for them, but you don't necessarily want them kind of clogging your own dashboard, creating tasks for you to do. Of course, if you do have that relationship and do want them to create tasks for you, you can very well just add them as a general user, and they will have access to all of that. One of the other features that is on the paid tier is our checklist tasks. So by default, on the free tier, you do have access to our general tasks. Checklist tasks will be available during the first 14 days of your trial. After that, any tasks that you had created that were checklist tasks will remain as checklist tasks, but to create new ones, you will need to upgrade to our paid tier. I'm just going to show you private tasks. I'm just going to create that as the heading. And this is the function that I did mention that I'd come back to. So you can hover over here to get some information on this, but private tasks mean that only the people who created that task or are assigned to that task will be able to see it. So I'm going to put SEO again, and I'm just going to assign it to myself and hit publish. So you can see that this is a private task because it has the padlock symbol. If Laura logged into her account, she would not see this task. So this is really good for two reasons. A, there's going to be some categories or certain areas of work that you don't want other people to be aware of. Perhaps you're creating a task on some company financials, or you're talking about some hiring plans that you have for the company. Alternatively, you may want to use private tasks as a way of creating your own to-do lists without clogging the dashboard for everyone else. So, for example, in my team, I create quite a lot of tasks myself, and often they're not things that rely on other people. But I know that if they were to then go into the group task dashboard, they're going to see 10 or 15 things that they don't really need to worry about. So I just mark all those tasks as private. they won't ever show up for them, and it keeps it a lot easier. On top of that, one of the other premium features that we have is our integration with Zapier. So if you're not familiar with Zapier, it's a third-party tool where you can create a free account over at Zapier, and it allows you to connect Task Pigeon with other applications, whether that's Gmail, Slack, basically 1,000 other applications. It's quite impressive. And one of the key functions that I use is this email function where you can email yourself a task using this integration with Zapier. So if you're after more information on that, it's a little bit too much to dive into in great detail right now, but go to our website and navigate to the integrations page, and you'll see a whole heap of information on how you can get started and how you can get up and running with that. Finally, one of the most exciting things that we've been able to announce just very recently actually is our marketplace. It's currently in beta, but I'm going to open it up for you. It does open in a new tab at the moment, but what we're really trying to solve here is the underlying issue that 40% of tasks that people add to their to-do list are never actually completed. So if you have a task management application like we do in Task Pigeon, and you have people who are adding tasks to their dashboard, obviously they have a desire to see that task completed. Now, we all know how work gets, and sometimes other priorities pop up, people are sick, things happen, and that thing that you wanted completed by Friday now slips to the week after, then something else pops up, and before you know it, it's been 2 weeks and nothing's been done. That's where Marketplace by Task Pigeon comes in. It's essentially business tasks completed on demand. Now, to start with, we are focusing on digital-based tasks. We've got writing and editing, design, and virtual assistants. And essentially, the way it's designed to work is if we come back here and have a look at our tasks, let's just say this SEO keyword research, outsourced task. This will take you to the marketplace. In the future, it'll be a lot more integrated, so we'll be able to pull the data from the task itself, so you don't need to cut and paste or retype any of the information. And then you can come over here and you can be like, okay, I've got to write that 500-word blog post by tomorrow or the day after. I just don't have the time. I've got so much on my plate. We can simply click here. You've got full details in terms of what we require. It's not a lot, really. It's the title for the blog post, the general overview. We do recommend you provide subheadings. You purchase that, and it's a pre-vetted marketplace. You don't need to wait for bids to come in, negotiate back and forward, review people's past work. We've taken care of all of that, and we just find you the very best writer. We get them to complete the task, and we send it back to you. The other really cool one is really our virtual assistant tasks. So we basically sell these in blocks of hours. So you might have, for example, that SEO keyword research task, great example, that's about an hour's work. You're under the pump, you're busy, you don't have the time. Click here, you can get a virtual assistant for 1 hour, provide a few details in terms of like what your website is, if you have any preferences or any competitors that you want us to look into, and that virtual assistant will go off and create some keyword research for you. You can get these in all different types of packages. Here we're just looking at the featured tasks, so you have 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, but it's very flexible. This marketplace is only available for users of Task Pigeon. So the benefit of that is it's not like other marketplaces where you're going to have, uncurated set of freelancers who are just there to get, you business, and then you might never hear from them again. Marketplace by Task Pigeon is a key component of our business. It's backed by Task Pigeon itself, and we pre-vet all of our freelancers before letting them onto the platform. And we're so confident that we can deliver a high quality task that if you're not completely satisfied, let us know and we'll refund the amount associated with that task that you outsourced, and obviously make sure that we work with that freelancer to lift their skills, or worst comes to worst, they'd be removed from the platform if they showed inability to provide a high quality work. At the moment, as we've just launched, every single freelancer on Marketplace by Task Pigeon is actually a person who we have personally worked with. So we have had virtual assistants work with us. We have had people design our logos, for example. We have had people write blog posts for us, and we utilize them as the seed to create this marketplace for you. If you want to find out more information, you can just go to marketplace.taskpigeon.co. All the details will be there. Of course, you can navigate to Marketplace by clicking the icon within the application itself or any of the individual tasks that you click on. Thanks for taking the time to listen into this webinar on Task Pigeon. I know it's a little bit of a comprehensive one in terms of walking you through the account creation process, getting started with creating categories, adding users, then creating the tasks. But I hope it has given you a very comprehensive overview of how Task Pigeon can work effectively for yourself as an individual, or also if you are in a wider team, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 20, 25 people. Task Pigeon is designed to be easy to use but very powerful under the covers. If you do have any questions or require any additional assistance or information, please do not hesitate to visit our website, taskpigeon.co. You'll find the contact us link there. Feel free to navigate to that to get our email. Alternatively, I'm happy to provide it to you right now as well. It is Paul, Paul, at taskpigeon.co. If you send us an email, I will respond ASAP. And I'd like to thank you once again for taking the time to listen to this webinar on Task Pigeon.